coming from Puerto Rico, transitioning to Brooklyn? Like, how old were you when you moved over here?
So I was 6 years old. You know, we were in a tough situation in Puerto Rico. My mom literally just picked up and left with my other two siblings and said, we out, we going to New York. I was the yes man go-to guy. My boss would be like, yo, I need you to cover this slot overnight. Let's go. He was like, I need you to cover this. No problem. I need you to cover this. No problem. It came to a point that he was like, yo, I need you to sacrifice one Saturday a month, which was my best days in clubs, for you to be here and do my overnight shift. I said, you know what? Done. I was doing that and the radio. I worked 24 days one time straight that I ended up in White Hospital in Bushwick with a headache. It was burned out. My body burned out. But you know what? I said, this ain't gonna stop. Kept on. I worked from the ground up to where I'm at right now.
Dímelo con el que lo que. You already know. Podcast Central. Coastal Chronicles NYC. I'm your boy, Tank Sinatra, a.k.a. Taino Domingo. You know the lingo. Call me anything but late for dinner because I love to eat. And as always, you know I got my brother with me, the Activation King. Last motherfucking episode I said New York City. I'm bugging the fuck out. We worldwide out here, you feel me? Dren Star, tell the people what the fuck is going on.
Yo, what's going on, man? What up, YouTube world? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Dulce Lounge, Coastal Chronicles NYC. Big shout out to my Rock Nation family, Paper Planes. As always, it's invite only. You know the rules. I'm not going to keep saying what I'm saying. But we got another dope guest. We're going to get into it. You're going to do your monologue. You're going to do what you're going to do. And let's get it.
Listen, man. Keep commenting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling a friend to tell a friend to tell their other friend. Even if you want to talk trash, go ahead and do it because we don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? You just feeding our algorithm, man. Just make sure you hit that notification button when we drop, man. And with that said, let me get into it, man. He fell in love with music as a kid in Arecibo, Puerto Rico, watching performers tear up the stage at fiestas. By 6, he was in Brooklyn, soaking up the raw sound of the city and building a deep love for all kinds of music. At 14, he was already that kid stacking busted speakers out of the window, blasting his mixes for the neighborhood, grinding in the basement house parties. Wherever there was a crowd and a socket plug, every gig, every mix, every beat was fuel for the fire. In 2007, he started cracking into New York City's club scene, fighting for 30-minute sets and proving himself night after night. By 2008, he dropped his first mixtape and launched the DJ Carlito Mix Show online, pulling in tens of thousands of listeners from the US to Europe. Word spread. He started rocking clubs coast to coast and landed high-profile gigs, including the official DJ slot for Daddy Yankee at the Brooklyn Three Kings Day Parade. When he got his shot to broadcast on La Mega 97.9 FM, he didn't waste a second. He studied the boards, learned the gear, and sharpened his craft from the inside out. Now he owns the #1 afternoon spot on La Mega, delivering his signature energy and street-smart charisma to listeners across the globe. He rocked the sold-out arenas like Madison Square Garden and Barclays Center, dropped 21 mixtapes, and earned 4 Latin Mix Award nominations, winning Best Club DJ in 2014. In 2022, he officially became a heavy hitter DJ, cementing his place among the elite. He's still moving heavy, spending 5 nights a week, flying city to city. The same kid from Puerto Rico who once played pretend on festival stages is now shaping the sound of a generation. He's a DJ, a hustler, a voice of the people. His name, DJ Carlito. Dímelo, papi.
What's going on, man? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I got the phone call and I couldn't say no, you know what I'm saying? My brother Dren hit me up, you know what I mean? And it's an honor to be here. Thank you. That intro was crazy. Like, I've never really heard someone narrate, like, pretty much from the beginnings of my youth to where I'm at now. And it's dope. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Shout out to Creations by Lady J. We always get it right over here, man.
Thank you.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I was born here, but you know, you can hear by the accent que tú sabes que soy dominicano, so my family is from over there, but I'm first generation American, but my roots is always going to be DR, so I want to start from there. How is it coming from Puerto Rico and transitioning to Brooklyn? Like, how old were you when you moved over here? And
so I was 6 years old. You know, my mom, you know, we were in a tough situation in Puerto Rico. My mom, you know, just picked up and left with my other two siblings and said, we out, we going to New York. 6 years old, what am I going to say? No? Remember, it was an American Airlines flight from San Juan to JFK. They were still giving the food. Remember back then they used to give the food in the 80s. So, got to Brooklyn, to Bushwick, and it was like a different world.
Bendito.
First train, the M train was in the overpass, and daba medio frío because it was October, so it was a whole different world because I'm used to the hot weather, running around barefooted, playing manhunt, tag with the kids, busting my toes open, you know what I mean, and to come to this is like it was a whole different world. So, glad that it happened because I think that everybody wants to, live the American dream. So,
Did you when you came from PR, did you know English or no?
Absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
Not one word of English. Maybe maestra, teacher, piso, floor. You know what I mean? That type of words because, in school, the songs, but that's about it. Nothing else after that.
Wow, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
So,
Piso floor.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta take it back.
I mean, we're not gonna skip. We're not gonna skip. But the fact that you came to New York and you only spoke Spanish to be on radio, the #1 Latin station.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's wild, bro.
It's incredible because when I first came here, back then it wasn't La Mega. It was another radio station. And then it became La Mega. And what Spanish parent don't listen to La Mega? Mm-hmm. You go to the local bodega. You go to the local restaurant. You go to a local probably 99-cent store, supermarket. The taxi drivers, they all got La Mega on. You know what I'm saying? So, growing up listening to the radio station and being there now as the voice, pretty much the voice of New York because I'm dominating the 3 to 7 slot with my co-host Nila Rosario, 3 to 7. I'm voicing over in New York City and across the world, throughout the app. So it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't done alone because obviously, but it's definitely a blessing. You know what I mean?
So let's rewind a bit. Before
Sure.
you started, before you got your radio gig, I'm sure you was hustling, you was putting work in, you was, everybody starts out local, the neighborhood, then you do mixtapes and
Right.
How did your career flourish from the beginning to where you at now?
So
what were the steps?
I going to high school, I met a few friends, Salvadorian friends. His name is Victor, and he was a DJ. And he used to do like baby showers, 316, little small parties. And I used to help him carry the speakers. It was like the big Gemini speakers, the amp rack. Bro, he lived on a 4th floor.
Oh my God. A walk up?
A walk up.
Oh.
No elevator.
And
That's
with the crates.
different,
With
bro.
the,
And with the crates too?
no crates because it was like a CD rack with the amps. But
Okay,
just alone,
okay.
the amps were heavy as hell. So I would help him with other fellas, and we'll go up. I used to not get paid. It's free. And one day, just looking, and I would press. Back then, the Gemini mixers had like the sound effects. They had like farts and like things like that. So I used to be like, ah. He's like, yo, bro, instead of you doing that, why don't you learn how to do this? I said, you know what? On the end, I was like, vamos a ver. We started doing jams. In the basement parties. The jam. We used to go by the light in the local 99-cent store, the one with the lights, by the smoke machine. Yo, we used to throw parties and make bread. I'm talking fake, like a fence, literally a fence around so nobody could come and bother us. Long story short, kept on. I learned through there. I got my own equipment. And I just started like, doing my own thing. But prior to that, when I was younger, I used to play the speakers out on my window. I used to play the güiro. They used to call me Carlito Guirero because I used to play the güiro. There's a cop across the street. He once told me, he said, I'm your speaker because you just don't let. But it was just I always had the love and passion for music. You know what I'm saying? In Puerto Rico, I used to go and dance with the artists like Olga Tañón, El Bicrepo, Grupo Manía, El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico. I used to go up there and dance. I always loved music. And then one thing led to another, and I just said, you know what? This is what I want to do. Let's go for it. In 07, I started doing little CDs, LimeWire downloads, track by track on iTunes. And I was giving it to my boy in the corner of Stockholm and Knickerbocker, where I grew up at. And my boy told me, yo, bro, like, why don't you talk to Ant and tell him to bring you to the clubs? I'm like, damn, you think like he really gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna talk to him, fam. And I always tell him, my boy Manny, always thankful and grateful to this day for telling me that. So he spoke to my boy Young Ant, and back then, 07, reggaeton was popping. That was the reggaeton era.
Boom. Yeah, the boom. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's Puerto Rican and black, but he didn't know about reggaeton. So he's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna bring you into this club called Remy in Queens in Astoria. But his partner was like, nah, nobody knows him. Like, I don't know.
The bullshit, the politics.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta be popping.
Yeah, you know
He
what I'm
don't want to
saying?
take a chance.
His name is George G. The Press, BBP, and Ant was like, yo, I DJ with him in trophy parties, which was the auto club parties, because I was, down with the whole auto club thing with the loud music. That's where the name Carlito came from. I had a station wagon that was before the Chucheros. This was before the Chucheros. Before this was when the speakers were on the doors, with the door poppers, with the JL audio kicker, the square kickers and all that era. I ran through that era in that. He's like, yo, I DJ with him in the trophy parties. Like, let's give him a shot. Gave me a shot. 07. Boom. I started doing 30-minute reggaeton sets between the hip hop and like the little CD book. Shit was skipping the times and all that, but the nerves. Then after that, the guy was like, yo, you know what? Come every Saturday. So every party they were doing, I was in it. I did TNY. I don't know if you remember TNY downtown, and Midtown. And yo, it was reggaeton. So then after that, I started transitioning into like the English music. I always listen to the English music, but it's easier to listen than to learn it and get to it more to be a DJ as to like, get to it into what it is now. I started grabbing it. Let me get that. Bought my first computer. Transition. That's when Serato came out. I didn't know how to go from CDs to Serato, because I was still stuck in the old school thing. Like, yo, go for it. Did it. And I'm like, wow, big difference. All the songs are here. I ain't got to look for it. All I got to do is type. I started doing OE Lounge on Steinway. Okay. Bombay Lounge right next to it. Kept on doing it. I said, you know what? Let me drop this mixtape. Let me start trying to get my name out there. I'm going to use this tool to give it to promoters. And this is how I'm going to get my name out there. Got it. My boy's like, yo, I got a studio, come through. I got you. I got this DJ. His name is DJ 38. No doubt. Happens to be he's Notch's DJ. No, Notch. One day he's like, yo, ven pa' acá. Hoy vamos a empezar. Yo, when I get there, Notch was in the studio. The dude does my intro. I did the intro to the Tony Montana. Dun, dun, dun. And he's like, did the DJ Carlito, Notch. It's Club Madness, Volume 1. Crazy. He didn't charge me. I did it. Everybody went crazy. I'm like, yo, this shit is dope.
So he co-signed you.
He pretty much co-signed my first mixtape. It was crazy.
Okay.
I'll go to promoters giving it. I ain't gonna lie. That shit didn't work, though.
What?
It did not work. I had a promoter tell me to this day, 2 promoters, which they're good friends of mine now, Hams and Diego, Ramsack. They were doing a club in the store, and I went, and they told me straight out, they're like, yo, we don't book DJs off of mixtapes. We got to listen to you live. I was like, I respect it. So what that made me do is keep working, grinding, kept on, did mixtape. I was doing 3 to 4 mixtapes a year. And just especially Puerto Rican Parade weekend.
You had lit.
Oh, I was doing 5,000 mixtapes.
Mandatory. Yep.
Flyers with my face on it, with my back then it was MySpace. Know what I'm saying? MySpace info. Then I bought the program MySpace was selling to blast all the flyers at the same time. It was like
all the accounts.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, I had help. I had, someone I was with was helping me. And they were doing my MySpace, and it was blasting. And then after that, came 2014. I got discovered by Lito All Pro, which was Flipstar's manager. And they were coming to, that's when Uptown DJs started coming to Brooklyn. like, yo, this is crazy. What caught his attention was a 6x9 fly with my picture on it. And back then, All Pro didn't have no Brooklyn DJs. So he co-signed me, then Pro Style co-signed me. I became an All Pro DJ. I went into the hip hop world. From a reggaeton set, I went into the hip hop world. Just rocked it. Then, you know, after a certain time about that, everybody went their ways. Everybody stood neutral. We were all good. Just still friends. Just kept rocking. In 2015, I remember to this day, AJ Callejero, he was working at SBS, and he's like, yo, listen, man, you want to come in, but it's going to be a street team job, promotions. I'm like, yo, bro, at this point, I do it. It is what it is.
Do whatever you got to do.
I got to start somewhere, right? He's like, yo, bro, don't let me down. You know what I mean? I went through like 5 interviews because from what I hear, there was DJs that were there before, and they were trying to block me from coming in.
Regular shit.
You know? Yo, this guy's going to come in. He think he going to do this and that. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I do whatever it takes. And right now, what I did, I said, I'm going to work my butt off. I did the street team for 4 years, carrying speakers, putting banners. Mind you, I'm DJ Carlito. I was clubs heavy. But I still didn't let that get to me. I said, I got to do what I got to do, and I got to make things happen for myself and make it happen. I was the yes man go-to guy. My boss would be like, yo, I need you to cover this slot overnight. Let's go. I learned the board. He was like, I need you to cover this. No problem. I need you to cover this. No problem. It came to a point that he was like, yo, I need you to sacrifice one Saturday a month, which was my best days in clubs, for you to be here and do my overnight shift. I said, you know what? Done. Yo, I need you for this. It was times I would get out of, getting out of the shower from coming to work, because I was doing, working a sales job for a company, which I ain't gonna give no free promo. I was working, you know what I'm saying? I was working for a company doing sales. I was a manager for them. And I was doing that and the radio. I worked 24 days one time straight that I ended up in White Gulf Hospital in Bushwick with a headache. I couldn't. It was burned out. My body burned out. But you know what? I said, this ain't gonna stop me. Kept on. 6 o'clock. Yo, I need you to be here at 7. In Brooklyn. Station's on 26th Street. Let's go. There. Boom. I did the promotion 4 years. Yo, I need you to cover this shift. I'm sorry, I can't right now, boys, because I'm going to Montreal. I could start on Monday. He's like, all right, come see me. Did it. Next day came. Yo, we good? Yeah, come cover. Yo, by Friday, I was like, yo, what happened? What's going on? He's like, cover till further notice. Remember, it's September of 2019. All right. Got to December. Bosses came down. I guess I didn't know nothing about radio, bro. Numbers and ratings and that.
And that's the real business of it.
Right. So, big meeting, December, to close the year out. Boss from Miami comes. He says, give him the slot. Yo, my eyes teared. I had glasses on. I just didn't want to show the emotions, but I was like, chills. That's when I got the 7 to midnight slot. I did the 7 to midnight slot from September of 2019 through pandemic, going in every single day. Meanwhile, everybody was home. Mm-hmm. Did that, and then in 2023, what was it, December, I got a phone call. Like, we're thinking of putting you 3 to 7 starting the new year.
Ooh, prime time.
Can you do it? I said, can I do it? When do I start? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it came, then they pushed it from the original date 2 weeks after. So I was already like anxious, like, yo, when am I going to start? So I've been there now. It's been a year. It's been 15 months pretty much, almost 16. And ever since I took over, the numbers have gone up. Number 1 in the Hispanic. I've clocked number 1 as well in the general market, which is over all the radio station, including English and Spanish.
Wow.
Some is a tax that at the beginning people were like, And even myself, I was thinking, I'm not even gonna lie. Damn, is this a setup to get rid of me? I'm not gonna sit here and say, nah.
Yeah, because the way it happened was
but the
thing
thing
is,
is,
like almost too good to be true, right?
I was confident in myself, but the thing at the same time is like, yo, is this a setup to get rid of me? Because the person before that, that's what happened. But what is it happening? So I sat down with the big bosses and I was like, yo, what's going on here, man? Like, let's talk. What happened? And you know why? Because you killed the night slot. And I feel like you the person that's going to do what they got to do in this time. And I trust you. I think you're that person. I say, you know what? All right. I won't let you down. Let's do this. Nice. So I got an amazing co-host. It's Nila Rosario, Emmy winner. She used to do news. She was an anchor. She did weather. She was a reporter.
Oh, so she's polished.
She's very trained, very well connected in the industry. Knows a lot of people. She's also Puerto Rican like me, and like at the beginning it was like, but now we're like unstoppable, man. Like,
that's dope, man.
The connection we have, the dynamic that we have, it's just amazing. Like I can't complain right now. Like finally got the big contract, like, that I wanted as, cause I had one, but again, it's a stepping stool. I make 10 years now, May 13, in the company, and I can't complain, man. Like, it's an amazing accomplishment. It's something that, a lot of DJs dream, man, to be in the radio. And I always said my hard work is going to pay off eventually.
So did you envision yourself? I mean, you started out as a DJ. Some DJs want to be like the big club DJ. Some DJs want to be the radio. I mean, obviously you do both. But did you ever envision yourself like to be where you're at now at such a fast pace? I mean, in your mind, you probably think it takes long, but as I'm listening to you speak now, like, it happened fast, bro.
Yeah. The fact that I got on the radio and then in the amount of time that it happened, yes, it's fast, but the longevity of it's been a while, you know what I mean? I always tell people, like, this is like being an artist. There's artists who work hard for years, and before they get that one hit song, they have to work 10 years.
They pay dues, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's no one out there that can say, este un lambón, este le pagó, I work from the ground up to where I'm at right now. And I can go out and saying it that to this day I still don't do it. I just let my work speak for it. And I'm just gonna continue to work hard, you know what I mean? And do I want more? Heck yeah. A lot of people will probably be like, I've seen people tell me, yo, you made it. I'm like, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not done.
This is just the beginning.
Oh, yeah, papito.
This is just the beginning, man. Because I always say one thing. It's always easy to go up and go down. But the hardest part is maintain. To maintain and be relevant is the most hardest thing that you can do. Because I want to stay here relevant. Yeah, everybody wants to be big. Who doesn't want to be big? As long as I stay relevant, I'm happy, man. So
who did you look up to as a DJ? Like when you was grinding out and you was like, yo, that nigga right there, that's the one that.
So in the Spanish market, obviously, Alex was always.
He's a big homie, yeah.
That dude, you know what I mean? He's, a lot of respect to him. I actually seen him 2 weeks ago in our concert, and every time I see Alex, I congratulate him, and I always thank him for everything he has done for the Latino community. DJ Lobo as well, you know what I'm saying? He's another pioneer. And Johnny Famolari, Nori Cotto, DJ Cream. These are the guys, Casanova. These are the guys who, like, did the evolution in the radio world, you know what I mean? Like Johnny Famolari, he's the one who created La Mega Mezcla to be able to where it is now, mixing live as a jock on the radio and talking. So, and then in the English market, who didn't listen to the Camilos enough, Flex, you know what I mean? And even, the Bobby Conda, the job, reggae style, you know what I mean? And Red Alert was one of the other, that I used to always listen to, so in those two markets, those are the DJs that I, looked up to.
So let's talk about heavy hitters. What was that moment, that feeling when you got inducted to be a heavy hitter?
So the story behind the heavy hitters, man, it's been something that I wanted since I started in the clubs, 2007. Back then, if you was a heavy hitter in 2007, you was bigger than being on radio. You understand? So, opening up for Enough, opening up for Camilo, Ramo, you know what I'm saying? Pro Style was, you know, he was back and forth from, you know, Florida here. You had Big Ben, you know what I mean? Opening up and seeing hearing the drop, you know, seeing how popular they were. Of course, starting up, you want to be, you know what I'm saying? So I always was behind it. And, you know, young, unexperienced person, the first opportunity came with the first team, so I took it. But in the back of my mind, the heavy hitters was always that team. I got offered prior to becoming a heavy hitter to be down with another crew. And I honestly told that person, I said, if it's not heavy hitters,
I'm good.
You don't
it's
look
nobody.
at 'em.
To, you know, so when I got the phone call, you know, Camilo was like, this is one motherfucker that earned it. And to this day, I got inducted to the heavy hitters in 2022. To this day, when there's conversations about when we vote who's gonna be in or what, Camilo always uses me as a reference. Even in the welcoming dinner, he said, if it's one person that that deserves it the most, it's that guy right there. I used to be behind Camilo. I go to Enough's parties, Cast One, Bugs, and I just, again, it was an earned title to be a heavy hitter. I'm with the Yankees of DJs.
DJs.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And the first thing I did, I went and copped the
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? I could have did my name, but I was so proud
to be down with
and so happy and grateful to be down with the heavy hitters. I said, okay, I gotta get my.
But how was that moment though? Like how was
it was you know, it was tears, but tears of happiness, excitement. Like it's the feeling is it was just a different feeling to, you know, hear. You know, I actually not here because normally they do the announcement on the radio, but it was through COVID. So they did it more on Instagram just to see my you know, my picture pop up
as
a
an
heavy
official
hitter
heavy
approved.
hitter. That's
Yeah,
fire.
man. You know, I always been around them, you know what I mean, and all that, but just to be, and the thing is that a lot of people's like, yeah, the DJ crew. It's not just the DJ crew. We're a family.
Yeah.
And when we get together in the retreats, it's a whole different ballgame, man. Like, you know, the love that everyone shares for each other, like the help. You know, if you go down and the help is needed, they will be there. You know what I mean? So
How would you describe your style?
my style?
Yeah. All right, it's a 2-part question, but go
Right.
ahead, answer that one first, because
So
I'll wait.
my style in what way? Like,
All right, so look, let me ask this
Go
other
ahead.
question first. Radio or the club? What would you prefer?
I like both, man. I like both.
Equally?
I mean, to me, the radio's not a job because I love what I do. So when you love what you do, it's not a job. I love entertaining people. I get phone calls of people excited. Just me picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, you are the caller number 9. You just want tickets to go see this person. Hey, how's your afternoon going?" Today, I sent a message. I played Nadie es Eterno of Tito Roja. And, you know, I said, I know that Mother's Day is coming up. You know, especially this message goes out especially to, you know, people who have lost their mom. And I know it's hard, tough, but always remember that, you know, they're looking from above and always, you know, blessing you. And I got 4 text messages from 4 different people. You just made me cry. Thank you for the message. And those things right there are priceless, man, that I'm able to touch people's hearts just by saying a few words on that mic. The clubs, seeing the excitement of the people dancing and you know, jumping up, dancing, and even the requests, man. A lot of the times people be like, it happens, man, you know what I mean? But it's just seeing them, you know, sing the, you know, the song when you bring the music down. I did a private event yesterday with the radio, and everybody was upstairs. I went down, and guess where I went? All the winners were. And you know what a winner told me? What are you doing down here? I said, well, you want me to be upstairs? I look at my boss's face every day. I don't see you guys.
Yeah.
I need to see y'all.
Fire.
I don't want to
those are
see
the people that are
I
tapped
don't
in.
want to see I see my bosses every day. Literally every day I see my bosses. I don't see y'all. Y'all don't see me. Y'all hear me. I don't know if you're listening. And I just want to say thank you.
You want to connect.
You know what I mean? Of course.
Those are the people that are your fans. Those are the people that got you in that slot.
Correct.
Yep.
Those are the people that vouch for you.
Correct.
So those are the people that
Those
you
are the
really-
people who's gonna continue to make
Exactly.
me keep my job.
Exactly, 1000%.
So
now goes to the question.
the unique.
What would you rather? You know
What would I
I'm saying?
rather? I mean, honestly, man, it's the clubs is the clubs. You know what I mean?
Like, is the style different on the radio
Oh,
than
one,
it is
1,000,000%.
on live?
It's 10 times different. Because in the clubs, I could do whatever I want. I could play whatever I want. I could say whatever I want. In the radio, I have a playlist in front of me.
It's programming and politics, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that I play a song here and there, yes. But then there's times that I get a text. What are you playing that for? You know? And anybody that's been on radio that's looking at this right now knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, I love the clubs. You know, the radio's the radio, but definitely in that perspective, definitely the clubs.
Radio's touchy, man, because you know I come from that field, and you know a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes. The politics in radio are heavy. Like, you know, people think you know, oh, I know Carlito, he's my man. You're adrenaline. You fuck gonna give him my. It don't work like that. They don't understand the politics of radio and the programming and sponsorships, and it comes from corporate down to you. And that's why sometimes when you show love, you get that phone call like, "Yo, what you doing?"
Yeah. So, I get DMs, I get text messages. In the clubs, people come up, and I'm like, "Listen, programming comes from Miami. I can give you the website, and you can contact Miami, because I signed the contract, and in that contract it states."
You play what we tell you to play.
No, not only that, you cannot take monetary, you know,
It's called payola.
Compensation.
It's payola, yeah.
I don't like saying the word.
Yeah. You can't say it, I can say it.
So you cannot take any monetary, you know, like, you know, from anyone. I've had labels come to me and try to give me money, even though I've played things and it's in programming. I'm good. I get paid for that. I get a check every 2 weeks. It's fine. Because then the thing is that now I owe you something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't owe you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I get paid for it. It's there. I'm playing it. That's it. Or I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, que yo le di tanto a fulano.
Real quick, they saying that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One little miscue you have with that person, they're going to say, yo,
Over.
but yo le di tanto a este
Oh,
tigre,
tú no te
aquel día."
recuerdas. Yeah,
I'd rather be
real
like,
quick.
yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Keep it neutral. Let's keep it how we got, and we good money.
So now, do you feel, because you're in this space, you've been in it for a minute, my opinion is that radio is not as powerful as it used to be because of all the streaming platforms. You know, back then, like you said earlier, it was mixtapes.
Right.
Like you knew that was a vehicle to try to help you get into the clubs. Besides the mixtape, it was radio.
Right.
There was no YouTube. There was no Instagram.
Yep.
You just spoke about MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have Spotify, you have Apple Music, you have all
YouTube.
of these things. So it takes away the fans that usually go in a car and listen to radio, because now you create a playlist.
Right.
You hear what you want to hear on demand, on site,
Right.
for free.
Right.
So do you feel that has impacted your job, like what you do on radio?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because a faithful listener will be a faithful listener. You know, and the good thing about my slot is that not only we play music, we get information out. You know what I'm saying? So we get into like the topics of the trending topics, weather, you know, traffic, and like different things that go on that it catches the people's eye. Again, for example, a 50-year, no disrespect to anyone at the age bracket, or let's say a 50-year-old cab driver. They're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? They normally, Dominicano,
They programmed already. They stuck in their zone.
and they're gonna play La Mega. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The older folks who still have a rate, they're gonna. Now the younger generation is a little tougher to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But believe it or not, the generation of the ages of 18 to 49, I was there. I was in that bracket at number 1 at one point. I was in that bracket at number 2 in that point in the general market, which is over every single radio station. The 25-54 market, I own it in all markets. 18 to 49. When I was at night, I was number 1, 18 to 34 in the general market. So that means that I had the population of the 18 to 34, which I think that's what drove my bosses to, because the incredibility of like, how the hell this guy got 18 to 34 when it's, again, it's like you say, the YouTube, the SoundClouds, the Spotify, the Apple.
The microwave kids.
What did I do? I don't know. I'm just being me and playing music. You know what I mean?
Is your show syndicated?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. As of now, no.
But I mean,
I've
on the app is worldwide.
And the app is worldwide. Yes, and the app you can listen to it.
iHeart, all that.
Nah, no iHeart. No, it's not. It's their own. It's called La Música app, and they have their own, which all the 13 radio stations, Puerto Rico, Texas, Miami, Orlando, Tampa, New York, California.
Wherever los Latinos.
Wherever SBS radio is at, that's where we're at. So the show is not syndicated. I have spoken about it. It's something that could happen in the future, you know what I mean?
So why did you, I know a lot about radio, so we're going to have fun with this. During COVID, why did you have to go into the station? How come you didn't do it from home? Was it something that the station wanted you there? Because you could have did it from home.
I know I could have. I never asked a question, to be honest.
Got it.
I guess, to be honest, it was just like the excitement to like, yo, I got my own slot.
Gotcha.
And then again, through COVID, we were all home lockdown bored as shit.
You wanted to get
That's
out.
true.
¿Tú me entiendes?
You
know what I mean? So,
fuck
you know what I mean? It got to a point that, the first probably 3 months, people were like, pero ya después de 3 meses, you was like,
you're
looking at
going
the
crazy.
4 walls, you know what I mean? And yo, I used to live in Brooklyn then, and I used to get to work in like 12 minutes.
Yeah, because that shit was bare out there.
Nothing.
That shit was like,
you know what I mean? So I guess that's why I didn't mind it. But to be honest, man, like that slot 7 to midnight is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. A lot of times people are like, yo, that slot, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was having issues with my partner because of the timing. I would leave home early, do the morning job, and then go from there to the afternoon, and I wouldn't be home till like midnight or more. And it was the same routine Monday through Friday. So, you know what I mean? I just said, bear with me. Bear with me. Everything's going to pay off. These are all challenges that you get thrown at. Yeah. You get thrown at. And there was many times, and I'm going to be 100% truthful. I'm going to quit this shit. I'm not going to do it. Because it was taking a toll on me. But then I was like, what the hell did I work so hard for so many years? To give up now? Yeah. After I got my slot? Nah, I ain't doing that. Yeah.
So when did that point come where you left the other job and you made La Mega?
When I got the main paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah. When
so
I got
those
the
10 years that you was grinding to get that spot, you was still with that other job.
Yeah.
All right.
It was up until last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
People always tell you on this show. Okay, you guys?
Yeah. No, we just had Pretty Lou here.
Okay.
And, a lot of people didn't know that he worked for UPS for 20 years, bro. Mm-hmm. While he was still grinding, hustling, doing the clubs on radio.
Yep.
He got a pension. Like, sometimes the industry is cool. It's a lot of glitter, but sometimes it
ain't consistent.
It don't come through. Like you said, you only working 3 hours.
Right.
So, like, let's be real. Like, 3 hours a day, like, but it's like you said, you love what you do, so it's not really work.
Right.
And you busted your ass for this shit. Like, I'm doing that. Even when you started, they put you at midnight or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fill the slot. Because once your foot is in the door, bro, after that, it's up to you how you navigate the system now. You know what I'm saying? But
Correct.
it's hard, bro. It's damn near impossible to get in that door.
A lot of people think it's easy. It's not easy. You gotta grind. You gotta get. A lot of people get it easy. Because in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it gets to a point of like, all right, yeah, here, it's given. Me, that's what I love about it, because it can never been like, yo, that was given to him. Nah. Nobody in this life could say that was given to him.
Facts.
Even from now, like even the people that work at the station be like, yo, este guayo la yuca. Because I did. You know what I mean? And I can be like, go stand up and be like, I did this, like this, like this, and like that. But again, I'm always thankful for everyone who helped me throughout the years. Because I can never, I would never, and that's why I say names from then. And because you always have to remember who helped you, who put you on, and who guide you through the steps of like, hey, do this, you know what I mean? I'm still learning. Because you learn new things every single day. I just learned about business, credit, and all this other stuff maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And what am I doing? I'm passing on the knowledge to my kids now. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son is 24. And what I did, since he was like 16, I put a credit card under his name, under me, with his social. My daughter's 15. I put the credit card under her name. I like 12 years old.
Yep.
They got credit.
Seeing that's dope, because when we grew up,
we ain't got none of that.
nobody taught us that.
Absolutely not.
Bro, I had to go to prison to learn all of that.
We get a credit
You know what
card
I'm
and
saying?
fuck that whole fucking
Max out.
Now we in the fucking in the black.
I told
in the
when
red.
my son
Yeah,
graduated
shit
like
serious.
from everything, and he got his own credit card. What I told him, I said, how much is it? Oh, $300. I said, spend $150 every time. Pay that shit right back. Why he
That's
did
that
like
shit,
like
bro.
a few months later, 3 months, he like, Dad, they raised me up.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep going.
That's what you got to do.
And now he's like, he got like almost $10,000 in credit. I said, you started with 300.
300.
Yeah.
Facts.
I have people hitting me up now and be like, yo, about the LLC, this. Yo, can I? Somebody hit me up the other day. Yo, I'll spit the knowledge to you, bro. I don't care. I'm willing to help anybody. I don't care. The other day I was in a store, in a chicken place, and the guy's like, he was begging the guy to buy a chicken. He had $1. So I grabbed homie and I was like, yo, what you want, man? Like, yo, yo, can I get this? I said, yo, whatever you want. I said, grab a soda. I said, but it was one thing my mom always told me was, never deny food to nobody. Because you never know.
way, yeah.
You could
Facts.
be, again, you could be here one day. And
I'll do the same
Yeah,
thing.
wow.
If you want to eat, I'll buy it.
no,
for
I ain't
I'll
giving
give
you no money
because you're going to get
Every
high.
day.
Exactly.
All day I can eat whatever the fuck
You know
you
what I
wanna
mean?
eat.
Bro, I like I've been in the spot where I've had to brush my teeth with soap. You understand what I'm saying? I've been there. Cutting it through the middle and going like that to get out of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. We all been there, bro.
You know what I mean? So to be where I'm at now, so grateful. You know what I mean? And I just I'm just paving the way for my kids to they don't have to go through that. You know what I mean?